What's up, people? Welcome to another episode, another week of Tete Sports. We're your hosts, Griffin and Tyler. Let's get to it, everybody.
What is up, everybody? Happy late Mardi Gras, because it's the Thursday after Mardi Gras. You see my jester hat disappearing up there into the night sky. It's a Saturday night in Death Valley. But Mardi Gras was fun. The boy got a little burnt. Hell of a tan line right there. But caught this thing. Not going to wear it the whole time. It's a little tight, but caught this thing Tuesday from a random float and the Independent Parade in Lafayette, and it's from 2012 BCS National Championship against Alabama, the one where we got shut out and couldn't cross the 50-yard line except for one time. Yeah, that one. Great memory, right? Hell of a memory right there. But yeah, caught that on Tuesday. That was an interesting find. They're throwing everything in Lafayette, I guess. They got tired of the memory, so they got rid of it. But few things to talk about today. Not a busy week, but baseball and basketball are heating up. Obviously, softball as well. But we got the women's basketball SEC tournament in Nashville. LSU pulled the number 2 seed after beating Tennessee on Sunday. Obviously, we would have shared the number 2 seed if we would have lost to Tennessee. So regardless, we have the number 2 seed, but we own it ourselves after we beat Tennessee. And that'll be interesting. Don't know who we're playing yet. We got to wait for the first round. Obviously, we got to buy in the first round. So we have no idea who we're playing yet. But
who's it out of? Do we know or?
Let me go look that up because I was curious as well about it just to see what let's see, SEC women's basketball tournament, because I'm not entirely sure who it's out of, but I know there's, you got Alabama's ranked, South Carolina's obviously number 1, but okay, how is this relevant? Okay, here we go. Women's basketball bracket. Okay, so the first round is actually over. We have to wait till the quarterfinals. But we were playing Kentucky, number 7 Kentucky, 7 p.m. on Friday. So tomorrow we play Kentucky at 7.
The girls
just played. Yeah, that's who I've been talking about.
Oh, no, I know, but I thought, how do we have a bye, but we play? I guess we don't have a bye, whatever.
We did have a bye. We didn't play the first 2 rounds. I don't know what you're.
Oh, they already started. You see where I'm at.
Yeah, it started yesterday, man. Second round was today. The Kentucky beat number 10 Mississippi State to move on to play us. Number 8 Arkansas is playing number 1 South Carolina. Obviously, this is all SEC rankings, not national rankings, because everybody's ranked right now. So you have Missouri advance, Vandy advance, Mississippi. Let's see. Hang on. I'm sorry. Arkansas advance. This is a horrible bracket thing. Kentucky advance, Florida advance, Arkansas advance, and they are playing Ole Miss, South Carolina, and LSU. And Tennessee has to wait for their, I believe, for Ole Miss and Florida, I'm assuming, has to wait because they're the lowest 2 seeds together. So then number 3 Tennessee would play either 4 or 5, because they wouldn't play the team that won out of LSU or South Carolina. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, so 6 p.m. here. LSU plays Kentucky. Obviously, that's in Nashville. Moving on to the Shriners Hospital for Children's College Classic. Obviously, this is always in between the Big 12 and the SEC, and it's always in Minute Maid Park in Houston, where the Astros play, our boys. And obviously, they're not playing anytime soon because they still have no deal for the MLB and MLBPA. Although they got the go-ahead from the assistant, or whatever you call it, commissioner, deputy commissioner. That's the word. they got permission from the deputy commissioner yesterday, last night to resume talks tonight, whatever it was. So they are talking again, but at what they wanted their deadline to be, there was no official agreement or anything. On player association and league news, though, the NFL and the NFLPA decided to get rid of altogether COVID protocols. No testing, no sit-outs, nothing, no quarantine, no masks, because that's part of the COVID protocol. So that's a big deal in the NFL today. Obviously, the combine's going on right now. Hopes of Chris Olave at number 18 is out of the fucking question at this point. Dude ran a 4.26 today, unofficial, obviously. But with his skill and his measurables matching up, we're not getting Chris Olave at number 18 because he's not dropping another top 10 if you ask me. But I think he'll be one or two wide receivers picked, because you're going to have probably 3 defensive ends, maybe a couple of offensive linemen. So you got 5 picks right there. Then you got 2 wide receivers, maybe a linebacker and a running back. So you got 10 picks right there, you know. So it's going to be a heavy defensive first round. Obviously, the later first round will probably be a couple of offensive skill players. You're going to have maybe 2, 3, maybe depending on where Malik Willis goes. First round picks. Obviously, you got Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell. I think of the other 2. So depending on where those 3 go, you could have 2 or 3 in the first round. But I don't see Chris Olave being available at number 18. I don't know what your opinion is on that, T. But I know you've been at work all day. I haven't seen all that. But
No, I mean, Chris Olave ain't dropping. It'd be a shocker for him to drop that low. I think I hadn't been following the combine.
I saw on Twitter. I'm not really keeping up with it a whole lot.
Jameson Williams, the one from Alabama, how'd he do? Is he going to stay? Because they were saying a lot of drafts have him coming to the Saints.
I think it, man. I don't know.
If Chris Olave somehow falls that far, he's coming.
It just depends, man. I 100% don't see. Like I said, you had 2 wide receivers in the top 10. I think those are going to be the 2. So I don't see us. And a buddy on Twitter told me, they're going to trade up to 10 or 13, and that's where I said, I was like, I don't think he drops that. Like, I think he's 7, 8 at the lowest. I got to look up the draft order, but it's hard to imagine that the people in the top 10 don't need a wide receiver. 2 of them don't. I don't see any quarterbacks going top 10. I don't, because in top 10, I mean, now I gotta go look it up because
Kenny Pickett is the only one.
I don't even see top 10. I think he's gonna go 11, 12, 13. Like,
yeah,
I really don't see a quarterback going to the top 10. But
talked about Kenny Pickett and Liberty's quarterback, 2 that have the possibility of going high.
Willis, but Sam Howell too. Sam Howell's a sleeper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's definitely a wild. Okay, so let's look at this. Obviously, you got Jacksonville back with it again, which is absolutely wild. And what they're taking. This is NFL.com. Obviously, I'm going to reference this thing. This is Chad Reuter published this 3-round mock draft. But we're just going to talk about it a little bit. This is not a draft preview, just talking a little bit about what's possible for the Saints. Obviously, we'll go in a couple of weeks, closer to the end of March, when we have a little bit less than a month, or beginning of April when we have a little bit less than a month until the draft. We'll do our pre-draft show like we did last year. Holy moly, we've been doing this for a year. Okay. Surprisingly, he's got Evan. Not surprisingly, but Evan Neal from Alabama, the offensive tackle, going to the Jaguars, and then he's got Aiden Hutchinson going number 2, and the Carolina Panthers picking Malik Willis. I don't think you shell out what you did for Sam Darnold if you're going to go pick Malik Willis, number 3 pick. Like, and I mean, and you still have Cam Newton. Like, that's a okay QB room. It's not the same at all. It's probably worse than having Mac Jones and Cam Newton, But then you got Kyle Hamilton, a safety, another tackle, and then an edge, and then a linebacker, and then an edge, and then Kenny Pickett going number 9 to the Broncos. See, this. I don't like this at all because already top 10 3 quarterbacks. I don't see it. I just don't see it. The Broncos, I don't see them picking a quarterback. You know, they got a good, talented team. Kenny Pickett's not the answer for
They're
the rest.
gonna get Aaron Rodgers, big dog.
Huh?
I said they're gonna get Aaron Rodgers, big dog.
It might be, but I don't see Kenny Pickett going to the Broncos, and the Steelers are probably going to be able to pick Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett because I don't think he goes number 3 to the Panthers. That's just Malik Willis. Great measurables, looked decent against UL this year, but threw 4 picks and had 2 fumbles. Like, I mean, dude, not great, and we don't have a stellar, LSU Alabama type defense at UL. We have a good enough defense and a solid defense for the group of 5, but we don't have an SEC type defense, which is indicative of an NFL type defense. So Malik Willis going number 3, being the first quarterback picked. No thanks.
I agree. Like I think that, like, I thought that in the middle of the season, like they were like, "Oh, he's the best." I'm like, "Dude plays for Liberty, bro." Like, I get you can play for some of those teams. You play for Pitt, but like Kenny Pickett, somehow UNC, like you're not gonna play necessarily big time teams. But when you look at they look at what he's done, and I'm like, of course he's done what he's done against the conferences he's played. You know what I mean? In the conference he plays in, like the dude's good for where he is.
I'm not looking at this anymore because he had Matt Corral going 11 to the Commanders. 4 quarterbacks in the first round when 3 months ago there was only supposed to be 1, maybe. What have these guys done aside from a little bit of measurables at the combine that showed you they're better in a game in the NFL that makes you think they're going to be a first round pick? Matt Corral is not a first round pick. I'm sorry. Yeah. He looked better his sophomore year, if you ask me. I don't get it. I don't get how people do this, but I'm going to go to the ESPN mock draft. I don't know if this is a mock draft or just an order, but this is just well, that's over. That conversation's over. So back to I don't see Chris Olave dropping at 18. I don't see us getting a quarterback at 18. I just don't. They've talked about Malik Willis coming to the Saints. So what was your conversation like with the team? And it's like blah, 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 blah. If they really feel like the one that they need is there, I'm not going to say I don't trust. But it's hard to think that they're going to take a quarterback when Mickey Loomis just said Jameis is an option, and we hope we're a good option for Jameis as well. So,
I mean, I kind of hope they give Jameis another year at least. Look,
it was 5.
You in a year that you just got to kind of take some chances. And I think having Jameis there as a senior, you don't want Taysom without Sean.
No, don't get me wrong. Keeping Pete Carmichael there, though, I mean, it's kind of the same.
Yeah, but it's not the same as Sean being there. Sean can kind of.
Oh, absolutely.
Sean was good at if Pete goes and says, "Oh, I want to do this," well, Sean's going to be like, "No, hey, no. This is what we need to do instead." So if you don't have a Dennis Allen can do that, okay. But if he can't, then offensively, it's kind of I don't know.
We'll circle around back to the boys that you're sitting in front of. Well, like I said, we'll get back to the draft on our pre-draft show or pre-draft prediction show with what we think about. Well, we'll each have a mock and we'll see what we think about each pick from different sites and stuff like that. Give our opinions like we did last year. It was one of our better shows last year. So, and that was not on YouTube. You don't get to see me fucking do all this shit in the camera. And all right, so tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, LSU plays Oklahoma in the Shriners Classic. Then on Saturday at 7 p.m., this is a prime time game for the number 8 team in the country versus the number 1 team in the country, Texas. That's going to be a hell of a game there. Hopefully, it's going to be a hell of a game. Hopefully, we play better than we did against La Tech. Obviously, we had a good weekend last weekend against Towson and Southern and whatever, dude. Like, cool. I'm not impressed with them doing that to Maine and Townsend and Southern when they lose to La Tech. Like, no thanks. I'm not impressed yet. I'm
Hey.
happy
Southern just beat La Tech. That's all I'm saying.
that so
I'm just saying.
we're not UCF. We don't blow out Southern. Southern beats La Tech. We lose to La Tech, but it circles back around and we beat the other that beat the other that we're better than.
I'm just saying, Southern just beat La Tech. Well, my point is, if we can beat Southern and Southern can go beat La Tech, if they can be beat by La Tech, we can fucking beat Louisiana Tech. We shouldn't have lost. I think that was kind of a wake up call, in a sense. One of those games where look, it's baseball. You're not going to win them all.
We will see on Saturday because Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor, back to back days. Obviously, that's a SEC Big 12 showdown that happens every year in Minute Maid Park in Houston. Baylor and Oklahoma are not ranked. Obviously, Texas is number 1. So it's a good test regardless because you're not playing little brother conferences. You're playing another Power 5 conference and Power 5 recruits and the number 1 team in the nation. So, and Texas has proven it so far. So I'm looking forward to that game on Saturday. I'm very excited and anxious about that game on Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm excited about the Oklahoma game too. That's at 3, in the middle of the afternoon. Obviously, 7 p.m. on Sunday, which is an abnormal time for a Sunday game. But we will see that when it happens. Obviously, we will move on to a little bit of UL baseball. We won against Northwestern Tuesday and Wednesday yesterday. Both games 11-8, 6-3 at Fatigue. And we play the weekend series against Southern Miss tomorrow at 6, Friday at 2, and Sunday at 1. Obviously, the only 2 games that are on TV that you'll be able to watch is Saturday, Sunday. Don't know why they never want to televise a Friday game. Sorry, but I wish I can go to that. I might go to the one on Saturday. You never know. Obviously, then LSU. Nope, just kidding. La Tech comes. Nope, we go up there. Damn, I was hoping. On Tuesday, March 8th, ConferenceUSA.tv. That game will be on apparently, and it'll be on 1420 ESPN 1420 AM and 103.3 which is ESPN.
At the beginning of the season, they sure said that just about every game was going to be on ESPN Plus or ESPN or televised in some sort. And I've only seen like 3.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Well, no, they said that for UL and really all of baseball. Dude, I don't know if your stuff is laggy, but my stuff is so laggy right now.
Yep, mine's fine. Yours is very laggy. I can see that.
Yeah, so laggy.
Don't know. Maybe you have too much stuff on your internet.
I don't know. Let's go see.
But while you're doing that, I'm going to continue. Most of them have been on ESPN Plus. Obviously, we didn't get the Carbach Round Rock Classic. That was shitty. That was some good games that we could have watched, even though we lost all 3 of them. We had closer games against the 2 better teams, and we got blown out by the worst team. So not a good look. But we're 5-4. Obviously, we're 0-3 in the neutral. That was the neutral. But we're 4-1 home and 1-0 away. Obviously, this was against the SEC, the Pac-12, and the Big Ten. So that was different Power 5 conferences, better recruits, better whatever. And we went toe-to-toe with the number 2 and the number 4 team in the country for a little while, but then got blown out by an unranked team 4-12. So not great. But then we had 2 comeback games against Northwestern. Obviously, that's good. Then we got to play. Do what?
I think this series against Southern Miss is going to be good. Obviously, Mississippi State is
a good
huge hangover from last year. I think you had said that they're a huge hangover from the World Series last year. A hangover season like a mother trucker. So I think I know I said it. But
You're not even
you know,
the right team.
they just lost to Southern, and so Southern's coming to UL. So I think it'll be a good tell. I think UL has a good team. I mean, we were beating Arkansas until the end. They just kind of outlasted us.
Who are you talking? You're talking about Mississippi State, wrong team, but
Southern Miss, bro. Southern Miss beat Mississippi State.
oh, they did. Well, that's
Yes,
a state thing.
they just beat them Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, but Mississippi State lost a couple of
No, that's what I'm saying. They're having a huge hangover year from the World Series. They lost a couple. I mean, they've gotten blown out by a couple teams. They got blown out by the who was that? The Dirtbags.
But we will see what happens with Southern Miss. This is a future Sun Belt matchup. Obviously, next season, tentatively, currently, it's going to be another Sun Belt Conference team. So we'll see what happens. But pumped about those games this weekend. Obviously, we got basketball starting on Saturday at whatever time I said. Then you got baseball tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Kentucky game at 7 on Saturday, I believe, or 6 Central, 7 Central. 7-6 Central. Finally got it out of my mouth correctly. But we're looking up the Pelicans, bro. Ever since they picked up CJ McCollum, they had that one game that was rough, but they just beat the Phoenix Suns, who are the number 1 team in the league, by 15 in Phoenix. Beat the Lakers, who suck this year, 123-95, but that was with LeBron and AD. So that's a great feeling. And then they just beat the Sacramento Kings by 30. So in a 3-game win streak, they play Utah. We are 1 game now behind the Lakers in for the play-in. So that's pretty funny. Actually, we're 1.5 games behind. But the Lakers just won a championship because, they played a shortened season in the bubble. It's just like the Dodgers. The LA teams can't really win unless you're the Rams, But they had to trade for everybody, Congrats.
They still needed a super team.
Everybody in LA won a championship except the Kings. Congratulations. Talk about the NHL, LA Kings, obviously. But they won a few years ago. It was like 2013, So in the last decade, each team in LA has won. They had to actually move to LA to get one, but and they had to get 2 teams, so their odds were better. But they finally got one for football again. Obviously, we can't talk a whole lot of shit because it's been 13 years for us. So, but Pelicans are looking good since CJ McCollum. Obviously, you had the whole Zion thing happen, but next
I think that was probably every year. Last year we traded for Drew Bledsoe. The year before that we forgot even who we traded for. But like every year we trade for some veteran, trying to get a little bit of veteran. We always have these young guys on the team, and we don't have any veterans. So every year they try to trade for a decent veteran that can come in and kind of be the presence and help the team out. And this is the first year that who we brought in has actually done that.
No, I mean Brandon Ingram helped us out.
But so Brandon Ingram was on
we didn't go get Brandon Ingram. That was a trade.
Yeah, I was about to say that wasn't even us doing that. They wanted AD, so like, okay, cool. We got a bunch of people, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, all those people.
All right, so moving on from the NBA because NBA talk obligations, but right now it's a hell of a thing right now. But the college football programs generating the most interactions on official team social accounts in February of 2022. Obviously you got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 SEC teams in there. Top 4 are 3 of the SEC teams. Number 2 is Ohio State with 994,000, right? So number 1, obviously, we've talked about the 2 videos plenty of time. Those are still probably getting clicks, still probably getting views. And these boys right here, 1,006,000 more interactions than the closest Ohio State with 994,000. We have 2 million interactions in the month of February, just the month of February. And the closest is 994,000. So that's a very positive thing there. Man, I'm pumped about that because, recruits see that. They really do. They want to be known, and it helps their NIL.
Especially in the NIL era.
They see it. They want us to do it. But, we'll talk about that for a second. Then I'm going to go back to one more thing about women's college basketball. That's going to keep me a little riled up. But, yeah, dude, recruits see that. They see what the name LSU does for them. And the name, and it's going to happen at A&M. It's going to happen in Alabama. It's going to happen at Texas. Obviously, you saw, what happened with the lineman thing for the 50K, whatever. That's wild. They're just automatically getting it. If you go and you're a lineman that starts the game at Texas, you get $50,000, one-time thing. And it's just like, that's how NIL is nowadays. It's just what it's going to be. Because you have private people that are not boosters for the team that just want to, hey, you come sign 5 days out of the season. You come sign autographs at my whatever, my car dealership. You do this, you do that, or my restaurant, or you do a commercial. Obviously, you got the guys with Gordon. Something like that. You do 2 of those, or you do 3 of those, and I'm going to pay you 15 each, or 10 each, or 20 each, or whatever it is. Like, that's all they need. That's it. You don't have to pay them to play or anything. You pay them to do this, and in turn, you come to LSU. And the contract is null and void if you leave. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. You don't get the money if you don't complete the contract. It's a basic contract. They're teaching them about contracts, and that's good. That's what the NIL benefits them for as well. Not just having a little bit of money or a lot of bit of money on the side to be able to do anything, not sleep on a freaking floor at their friend's house. Because you've heard plenty of those stories over the years of different guys sleeping on floors in other people's dorms because they're staying up late studying and this and that because they have to work a job to even pay for food, or whenever school's out and they don't get the athletic food, whatever. Having that type of money benefits them tremendously, but then you also get the experience of having contract negotiation type stuff, fulfilling a contract, different business things like that over time in college. That way, when you have to deal with an agent or when you get to the NFL, you don't really deal with it, or you're not really new with dealing with it because of NIL. NIL is not just about the money. And I know most people don't see that because it's all what LSU can get you paid, the name brand and stuff like that. Obviously, we have the Nike deal now, all the jerseys for all our guys, and that's great. But they all had to opt into that. That's a contract. You got to opt into the contract. And that's one thing that they learn, and that's beneficial for them in the future, not just for the money. But sorry, you want to talk about that?
No, I just had, my thing when it comes to the NIL is a lot of people think that these kids, and look, most of them, obviously, they want to make money. They want the most money they can get their kids. That's just how it is. But at the end of the day, the majority of them kids would be okay with 50,000. Would be okay with, like you said, just being able to afford to eat or to go with their friends or buy a car or do something like that to where they can get around, and it's not just depending on the scholarship, the food at the
stipend every month, which is not
Yeah,
a lot of
it's all those things. It's not having to depend on that. It's hey, a lot you have to understand. And here's the deal. A lot of people don't get this. A lot of people think that somehow these kids come from rich families and rich thing, and that's how they get to LSU, and that's not how it is. These kids come from
New Orleans,
sometimes places where
areas, man.
yeah, they come from hard areas where they have nothing. So them getting 10, 20,000, well, guess what? A lot of those kids are gonna start sending that home. They're gonna help their families out. They're gonna do things. A lot of those kids have kids. You know what I mean? That's like just a lot of them do in college when they're playing. You got to realize these are 18 to 24-year-olds at sometimes. No, normally 22, 23, but they have 24, 36. Cole Tracy, things like that. Like Cole Tracy was not coach. Yeah, no. Which one?
Talking about Zach Von Rosenberg.
Yeah, Von Rosenberg. I don't know why I was thinking Cole Tracy. But Von Rosenberg was what, 36?
He was 29.
I thought he was older than that. But anyway, okay, 29. I'm 27 years old. Okay, I'm 27 years old. I know personally I couldn't live off of stipends and all this other stuff at that age, at this age. Even if I had no kids or whatever. At 29 years old, that'd be like me saying I'm gonna go to college and go play ball. Like if I was depending on just that, trying to feed my family, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Like that's not gonna work. So a lot of this opens up the opportunity for these guys to go in. Like Zach Von Rosenberg probably would have made a hell of a lot of money just because of who he was. So it's like cool. Now at 29 years old, this dude can go to college, pay for his college, pay for all these things, pay for everything, and he's good to go. You know what I mean? So like, I look at the NIL as a good thing and a bad thing because some people are going to take advantage of it. But
well, you know, it's always everything you do, everything, no matter what, it's going to be taken advantage of. At this point, a lot of people have heard the Bussin' with the Boys story with Johnny Manziel. Shout out them. You know, getting 3,000 and then to do all this crazy work, and then somebody that was helping that guy came up to him and was like, hey, you go here, 30K. So this dude's going there 2-3 times a semester making 90 grand, you know, 33K a month. And then obviously the NIL wasn't around back then, but, you know, it brings a whole new meaning to what Johnny Manziel was doing on the field there. So, you know, his money signs is.
They didn't call him money for no reason.
Yeah, Money Manziel. I mean, but, you know, he's passed, like he said, he's passed his statute of limitations. So, see, they can fuck off. But, so, what I wanted to talk about with women's college basketball, the SEC specifically, is, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna look right in the camera. Fuck the SEC. We're talking about 9-13 last year to 25-4.
Hey man, listen, if you haven't figured out that everyone hates LSU yet,
the country. Yeah, and another thing is their officiating sucks. Did we fucking see that shit on Tari Eason last night? Dude jumps up, shoots, then falls into the guy and gets called for a freaking charge. Are we kidding right now? What are we doing with this? Because
so I've gone back and forth, but you look at everything, man. I think all in all, and we talked about this with the NFL, right? We talked about how bad it was in the NFL. You talk about it's just, I feel like you're seeing now that it don't matter what sport it is, NFL, basketball, baseball, football, it doesn't matter. College, pro, dude, it's getting worse and worse. It's like they're not caring. They're doing it on purpose. That you can tell. To me personally, and I'm gonna say this, and this is a conspiracy theory. Me is that dude, these dudes are being bought, and not to I will say this: that foul on Tyree Houston literally changed the outcome of the game, in my personal opinion. That doesn't happen. They don't get the ball back. We're still up by 4.
We lost by 1. That's a 2-point play.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like they get the ball back, we get another chance. We still could have won that game. I don't know what the hell Penton was doing. That was the weakest throw. I was like, did you get paid to throw the game? Because my God, guy, my God, he literally, like, I can't, bro.
No, but
Like,
Kim Mulkey got snubbed like a mofo. Obviously, South Carolina, cool, got the #1 seed.
listen,
They've been good for years. Like she's got 5-star girls on her bench, bro. Like we won 9 games last year.
but the talent was there. The talent was there
There's still
for the
not
most part. We
5-star
obviously
girls.
brought in.
You can have talent as a 1-star. They're still not 5-star girls. You don't deserve a
Oh,
coach.
no, not at all. But the talent was there. I'm saying,
let me finish. Shut up. They're not 5-star girls on the bench. They literally are not. They're great players. Obviously, we've seen them in person. They have phenomenal talent. Caleb Pointer, Alexis Morris, Jalen Cherry, Faustine Awufa. All of them. Their starters are fantastic, but they're not 5-star girls. You look at, I forget the coach's name, and she's a phenomenal coach. I'm not taking it away from her. And those girls are phenomenal players. They deserve the 1 seed in the SEC and in the nation. But she does not deserve Coach of the Year when they were in the top 5 last year at the end of the season. We were 9-13 last year. They were 25-4, the number 6 seed in the country and number 2 seed in the SEC. You tell me how Kim Mulkey, same players, tell me how Kim Mulkey's not the freaking SEC Coach of the Year. Sorry, love you.
I mean, I should easily think that she's the SEC Coach of the Year. Everyone thinks that. Besides the freaking people that voted, everyone thinks that she should be.
It reminds me of Derek Stingley being the only true freshman All-American his freshman year, and Bo Nix wins Freshman of the Year, SEC Freshman of the Year. Auburn was like 7-5. We won a national championship, and Derek Stingley gets snubbed on that too. I want to know who the hell's voting for these fucking things.
I'm telling you, until y'all figure out, I've just gotten to the point where, yep, I know it. Everybody hates LSU. Everybody hates us.
Hey,
that's fine, because we're gonna go out there and let them hate.
Bring on the hate, bro.
Let them hate. That's what I say. I'm like, whatever. And Kim Mulkey said it best. It's not about the award. She's like, I won plenty of those motherfuckers. Like, I can care less.
You should have plenty of those to collect dust.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. She's like, I have plenty of those to collect dust. Well, here's the deal. You know what? She said, at the end of the day, we're celebrating what we did. Because she said, yeah, it wasn't really just me. It was this entire team. These girls played. I was just there. I was there leading them, doing what I needed to do. But these girls executed. These girls did what I was saying. And that's what matters. That's what makes the team great, is when they can do what the coach is saying, and they can basically read a coach's mind and say, okay, we got what she's going to say. Let's go win. Let's go do what we got to do. Even in a time where they can't really talk to her and there's no timeouts or something like that, they understand where they got to go. And that's what makes a hell of a coach. Should she have won SEC Coach of the Year? Absolutely. Should she have won probably the Coach of the Year for the entire NCAA? Yeah.
She might still.
Well, yeah, she might still. So we don't know that yet. But should she win that? I believe so. And if she does, if she continues to go,
that is one.
I have no doubt that she is going to be talking about
the national voting and stuff like that. It's pretty much unbiased, obviously, because you got shitty teams voting for people, so they're obviously not going to vote for themselves. But
yeah.
When it comes to the SEC, the voting has always been just, unless it's undoubtedly like there was questionable things when it came to, Bryce Young winning that, Offensive Player of the Year for the SEC. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm not going to doubt that. I get it. Dude played well all season. The rest of his team didn't play the best, but he didn't play the best, but he played well all season. I'm not going to take that away from him. It's questionable, but you can understand it. This and what I referenced earlier, the Derek Stingley Bo Nix thing, is questionable, and it makes zero sense. You don't there's no way you understand that. You can't look at me unless you're an Auburn Bo Nix fan who's now playing in Oregon, so obviously you shouldn't be. And a South Carolina fan, women's college basketball fan,
for South Carolina, you shouldn't be able to tell me, look me in the eye, straight face, and say, that makes sense. I understand why they picked that, not that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me break that down for the Kim Mulkey SEC snub, Coach of the Year snub, because it's understandable. You take Kim Mulkey out of the equation and LSU girls out of the equation, completely makes sense why South Carolina's head coach won. This is consistency. She's done a phenomenal job. They have the number 1 seed in the nation, number 1 seed in the SEC. Completely understandable. There's really nothing else in the SEC that happened to women's college basketball that you can understand anybody else winning. You bring Kim Mulkey, bringing a 9-13 team, unranked in the SEC. I mean, ranked in the SEC tournament, but I'm sorry, didn't make the freaking March Madness NCAA tournament last year, and they're probably going to get a freaking 3 or 4 seed this year.
Well, so
that you bring that into the equation, and 9-13 to 25-4, and you compare year to year what the South Carolina head coach has done. Okay, this is just what she does. It doesn't make her.
And here's the deal.
A great coach, but
I think, and like I said, I think she should have won it. But I think another big reason possibly that's kind of going through my mind is that the same thing you're saying for South Carolina's coach, Kim Mulkey's been doing this for years.
Stop putting it in her
Different
name.
teams.
Stop putting
I get it. Different team coming into a different place.
Stop putting it in her name.
What?
Stop putting the in her name.
Kim Mulkey?
Mulkey, no in.
Okay, whatever. But
Put some respect on my coach's name, boy.
Oh, shut up. She,
I
at
can't
the
even,
end of the day, she's been doing this for
what you're
years.
saying.
So
You're
it
so
can
bad.
kind of look, you can kind of look the same and say, oh, she's been doing this for years. So she's coming here and just showing, proving, oh, hey, here, you know who I am. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to make excuses because I don't understand it either, how she didn't get it, because she should have got it. But at the same time, what you're saying could be the same thing there, thinking for Kim Mulkey, because I don't know.
See, you can't do it because you're already doing it. The whole time you were on that, not even looking at the camera, I'm sitting here doing the robot, bro. Like,
No, I saw you, trust me. I was
look, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but like, you still can't tell me that makes sense that you pick her over Kim.
No, I'm saying I'm literally saying don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess I'm just trying to like boggle in my brain why it would make sense.
Like, and this is like, swear to Jesus, unbiased. Like, I know I have it on and that's in my background, but like, how does it, if it was the opposite, I would question. If Kim Mulkey's been here for 15 years doing the exact same thing every year, maybe a slump year every once in a while, and South Carolina brings in a coach, goes from 9-13 to 25-4, I'm questioning why they give it to Kim Mulkey. I'm advocating for that. This is take South Carolina and LSU out of it. How does she not get, how does the coach that took a 9-13 team to a 25-4 team not win it over a team that's been there for the past 5 years? That's all I'm saying. And I get what you're saying. It's just take South Carolina and LSU out of it. It's just, how does it, you can't look at it. It's the same concept.
Like I said, I'm there with you. I get it.
It's the same.
I don't understand either.
With Bo Nix and Derek Stingley, because you look at, take names out of it. Okay, cornerback, unanimous All-American as a true freshman, only in history, versus the kid who's a freshman who was like 8th in all the stats in quarterbacks out of 16 teams.
Yeah.
Congrats. Like, what does that say about what Derek Stingley did? Obviously, Derek Stingley is probably like, Bo Nix can have it, bro. I'm a unanimous All-American as a freshman, and he was already, he's got a transfer the same year that I'm going to be a top round pick, probably a top 15 pick in the NFL draft. So take that freshman All-American. Take that freshman SEC freshman of the year and shove it up Bo Nix's ass. That's exactly what Derek Stingley's saying in his mind, because look where he's at compared to where Bo Nix is at. So, not to mention pure talent because he hasn't really played a full season in the last 2 years. So here we go. Pumped about that though. He'll probably be our only top pick from LSU this year. But still pumped for it.
Nah, who else we got out there? That's it, no?
I mean, you got Damone Clark and you got Ed Ingram and you got a bunch of them from LSU, but they're not gonna be first.
Ed Ingram, Damone Clark, they'll probably be in the second round.
Yeah, it'd be late second round. I think Damone Clark's proven he can be a early second round pick.
Absolutely.
You got Ed Ingram and Austin Deculus and few more guys that are going to be early third, late second, maybe some fourth.
Austin is probably going to go third.
Yeah, I would say third, early four. So,
all right, how much you want to bet? Joe tells the motherfuckers to take Austin if he's still there when they have come up.
I don't think they're going to be worried about the offensive lineman at the end of the draft.
Oh no, but in the third round still. Third, fourth round.
You get two. You get your 2 picks in the first round, second round. That's all you really need. They have good offensive linemen, decent offensive linemen. They just aren't star offensive linemen.
Yeah.
You know, a star offensive lineman makes the rest of your offensive lineman great.
Oh, well, I mean, absolutely.
Look at their defensive line last year. It was good. But then you bring Trey Hendrickson in. Look what they did this year.
Yeah.
He's a star. He just needed to get out of Cam Jordan's shadow.
Well, the thing is when you well, I wouldn't even say personally that last season he was with us, he wasn't even in Cam Jordan's shadow. Cam Jordan was in his shadow because of what he was doing. I mean, he was leading the league in sacks along with Aaron Donald.
That doesn't mean he wasn't in Cam Jordan's shadow.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But here's the thing, right? So when you look at the defensive line like that, when you look at Trey comes in, and now your others are doing well as well because everybody's focusing on Trey. Just like everybody's focusing on Cam, now Trey was doing well. Now, oh shit, now we got to focus on him. Now the entire defensive line is doing well because you can't double team one guy because you're gonna let this guy through. And it so at the end of the day, it's like, oh crap, now they have to plan for the entire line doing well. So
I get you. I don't have anything else. You have anything else?
No.
All right. Well, do my normal stuff. Obviously, if you're just listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever streaming platform you listen on, go subscribe to the YouTube, youtube.com/TetDePod. Obviously, the spelling is where you're listening it to. Just take off that little roof above the E, and it's there. Go follow us on all socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. TetDePod, same thing. Shout out to the future of this podcast with our boy Justin, gorilla_up_apparel on Instagram. Doesn't have a Twitter yet. What else am I missing? Let's see. Shout out Tyler for actually being here this week. Even though he's all freaking laggy.
They're so bad.
And yeah, obviously you saw me messing with him earlier doing the robot, but
it's so bad. I don't even know why. It was bad.
Shout out LSU, shout out Raging Cajuns, shout out the Saints, shout out the Pelicans, and shout out the Astros. Let's get this freaking thing figured out because I want baseball.
Please. That'd be nice.